Hey, welcome to the semester. My name is Mike. I'm your professor for this class. I'm recording here a general video for my classes to introduce what it means to be online, what it means to be doing an asynchronous course, to introduce Moodle, and to introduce myself. So I want to talk to you about a few things in this class. This won't be a real long video, just enough to get us going and so that you can understand what's happening in this class. Of course, you probably have some familiarity on how to navigate through an asynchronous course, but I do think it's important for us to say some of the expectations that I have, some of the policies that I have, so that we can get along well together in this course. I'll introduce myself first because I like me and I like talking about me. My name is Mike. I'm a professor here at the college. I've been here since January of 2007, so I've been here quite a while. Before that, I was at the University of Toledo, where I taught English, and before that, I was at Wayne State, where I was working on my PhD. I actually do have a PhD. My PhD is in the philosophy of education, but I also have a PhD work in writing and composition. I love teaching writing and teaching thinking and teaching the ways that we go about interacting with the world, both in creative ways and in intellectual, analytical ways. So this class is going to be an online class. I meant to say a couple other things. First, obviously, I'm a geek. I'm a complete geek in many ways. My interest in geekiness is kind of in the ways that our pop culture interacts with our political world. That's kind of my thing. And then I'm also a father. I'm a husband. I'm a son. I'm an uncle. I'm pretty much gender straight stuff there. So I don't know if there's anything else interesting about me. I like punk rock. I don't know. I used to manage a fast food restaurant. What else do you want? I love teaching at Henry Ford College. I've been here for a long time, and what I really love about it is the fact that I get to work with people in their first 2 years of college education and try to help people figure out what their academic goals and dreams are and try to help facilitate their way to those goals and dreams. I also like challenging people. I really do have a deep interest in the scholarly side of things and what it means to study philosophy, or what it means to write arguments, or what it means to create texts for other people. And that's why I teach here. That's what I teach in every course that I teach. I teach English courses, writing courses, creative writing courses, humanities courses, and philosophy courses. I'm all over the place because I've got a lot of interest. Probably enough about me, unless you want me to start talking therapeutically and talking about my mother and past girlfriends and all that. And that's probably not where we need to go right now. Instead, what we need to talk about is the nature of this course and what you're going to be getting into. So this is an asynchronous course. That means we will be meeting online completely on our own time in every given week. Asynchronous means that we sign in different times. So you may be watching this video at 3 a.m. on Sunday evening or Sunday night, whereas somebody else is watching it right after I've posted it on Friday evening at 6 p.m. We do our work here at different times, although all of our work will be done within a given week. Our week will run from Tuesday to Monday at 11:59 p.m. All your work will be due on Mondays at 11:59 p.m. for every bit of work that you have. And I'm going to show you how that will work a little bit on our schedule in just a moment. What's important to keep in mind here is that your job here is not all is the student stuff, right? You got to do your writing, you got to do your interactions, you got to do your reading. That's natural stuff. But there's an added extra complication with it being asynchronous, and that is that you have to manage your time and manage your ability to interact with this course. Because we do not have a set course time, because we're not meeting face to face, this is all on you to keep up with what's going on. Most people know this stuff by now, right? We've been doing this for 2 years, and our understanding of how we interact in education has changed. So we have a pretty good understanding of what it means to do a course online. But it's important to say that this is all your business. You got to take care of your business in order to make this work. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go take a look at the course online so that we can get familiar with what it means to take a course. This is a course of my English 139 course, Introduction to Creative Writing, meeting in the summer of 2022. And I just want to show you a little bit about how the layout here works. So I don't do a whole lot of fancy graphics. I do like to post images or memes or cartoons occasionally, but I don't do a whole lot of fancy graphics. Instead, I just kind of give you a straightforward course that where you can navigate your way through. In this course, you will find your syllabus under course materials. If you're in a different course of mine that needs a little bit more academic support, you may find a handbook there or some other resources under course materials. So you click on your syllabus and it will ask you if you want to start your session, presuming that you're logged in. You will then grant all the cookies, and then you will find your syllabus there, right there on Moodle. The syllabus is important. You should read it. You should be aware of what the requirements there are. If we were in class, we would have a very long syllabus talk about what it means to be in an online class. And actually, I should go back to the syllabus here. We would have a very long talk about what it means to be online. We would have a very long talk about what the policies were for the class. Each of my courses might have a different way of breaking down the grade and breaking down what you need, the kind of work we're going to do. But there are a few things that are pretty consistent. One of the things is my approach to teaching, writing or teaching thinking is to emphasize process over product. And so I look for students' abilities to navigate the processes of their own writing, their own thinking, their own reading. And I attempt to base my grades on those processes. Because of that, your grade is going to be largely in flux until the end of the semester. That's just the way I teach. That's the way I find that allows me to communicate things that I think are valuable about writing and thinking and reading. And I just keep things in flux. That doesn't mean that I don't know where you are or that we can't talk about it if you want to make a conference, but it does mean that you're not going to have a grade that's continuously updated through this course. Well, let me say something about that. If you are somebody who's really hung up on grades, first, I would say get over it. Who cares about grades? They're not why you're going to college. You're going to college to build yourself into something, to learn something, to experience the world. But if you are hung up on grades, let me just say, you can ensure that you're on the path to doing well in this class by paying attention to the tasks of the class and your participation and engagement in the class. Students who are actively engaged will get full points for participation in reading, almost certainly will get a B or an A in class unless their writing and academic work is just not ready to be assessed at the English 139, at Humanities 101, at Philosophy 130 level. One thing I'll say with this is, do not trust the Moodle gradebook. That's this thing that we have over here on the left. If you click here, you can go to your grades. I don't use it. Now, Moodle will record grades in there that I include. They'll record all the different work that you submit, but I don't use the Moodle gradebook. It's just something that is there that I don't want to turn off because I want you to be able to see what work you've submitted, but it doesn't make any sense to me. So your grade is configured through a mix between your participation and the amount of work you do. A couple other policies to look at. The first is, this is asynchronous work. You need to be aware of that. You also need to be aware that if you're taking this course in the spring or summer in a 8-week semester, that asynchronous work is a load. I mean, it's heavy, heavy stuff. Even if you're taking it in person, it's a load because we are cramming a 16-week semester down into a 7-week semester. So everything is more than doubled every week. It's a lot. And it's not like I can just say, okay, well, I don't want to do that to my students. I don't want to hurt you by giving you double the work. I have to do this. I have to double the work because this course is still a full 3 credit hour course. And we've got to get through the material, which means everything is doubled. Because it's asynchronous, though, that means the pressures are, it's all on reading. You got to know what you're getting into. You got to know what you're reading every week. And if you don't, you're missing fundamental parts of the course. Another thing to be aware of is that all writing is public writing. Anything you write for this course, we may work together on it. We may explore it together. You need to be aware when you're writing in a discussion boards, it is public. When you're not just writing to me. When you are writing in a journal, it could be public. I'm not going to take your journals and share them without permission. And I probably won't share them at all. But if we're writing an academic paper or something that is an assignment, that could be public. We might make it, I won't do it without your permission, or I won't do it without warning, but all writing is public. Why else would you write unless you wanted it to be public? One thing I want you to be aware of is that representation in academic courses is important. In creative writing and philosophy and humanities and English, it's important. For so long, and I grew up in an era where for so long, Black voices, queer voices, even Native Indigenous voices, even women's voices were not respected, were not held up in the same light that others' voices, traditional white male voices, were held up. I want you to be aware that I'm aware of that, and that I'm doing what I can to shift that nature of that education, because it's still true. It is, you can still go to classes where you will never read anything by a queer author, or never confront ideas of oppression in minority peoples. Everyone is welcome here. Every idea is welcome to be expressed here without judgment, except for those that do not welcome others. Bias exists in college classes and needs to be confronted. Racist, sexist, homophobic classes, ageist students and professors exist, and they need to be confronted. While I will do my best never to embarrass anyone for a misstatement or an ill-conceived idea, discourse that discriminates will be called out in this class, because every single person in this class belongs here. And I want the racist, sexist, homophobic, classist, ageist among us to learn how to accept, to be accepted. On the same token, and now when I call out, I'm not saying I'm going to like blast you on a Moodle page. What I mean is I will send you an email and we will talk about it. And what I would say is, if I say something that has a blind spot that I'm ignorant of, that I don't understand has hurt you, please let me know. Because I want us to be able to talk together and for everyone to feel welcome. And I never want anything that I say to make you feel unwelcome, unless it's like, you haven't done any work all semester and you should consider dropping. Maybe that's a little bit of unwelcomeness. Reading and writing instruments, you should maybe tempted to do the course at times on your phone. Don't do that. Read and write, at least on computer. I highly recommend you buy textbooks and read on paper, or if you're just reusing the online materials, as I do in some of my courses, print it out. That's helpful. But at the very least, write on a computer, write on a piece of paper. Don't try to write on your phone. I can tell immediately if you've written a paper on your phone. It shows up really clearly in the ways that you use language and ideas, the ways you shorten your expression, it shows up. So avoid writing on the phone. All your assignments are due on the due date. Reading assignments, online lectures, and reading journals need to be read and watched in the week they're assigned. You should save all your work. Attendance policy in an online course pretty much means you need to check in frequently every week, especially in a 7-week course. It's super intense, so you should be involved here. Discussion board participation, you need to meet the requirements for 80% of the discussion board to get full credit for participation. Your post must show that you're aware of the topics of discussion. You must remain respectful of people, and your post must be original. And I want to say here that this is one of the important things about discussion boards that I think we miss. A lot of times teachers just assign discussion boards and never worry about what happens after they have assigned it. And frankly, it's impossible for an instructor to read all the discussion board posts, but the discussion board posts are there for your interaction. And if your posts aren't original, you've got a problem. And here's one way that they're not original. Somebody doesn't do any of the reading. They read somebody else's post from before, and they just copy the ideas in different words. That is not original. In fact, that is plagiarism, and you need to avoid it. Write your own posts. Engage at a meaningful level. Make this a sincere participation in a class. Plagiarism and academic dishonesty. That's stupid. Don't plagiarize. That may have made you feel unwelcome, but there are some points where it's okay to make people feel unwelcome. And if you're plagiarizing, you're not welcome, because the whole point of why we're here is for you to produce meaningful ideas of your own, and for you to learn other people's meaningful ideas, and for us to have a mutual respect of what it means to create, to study, to read, to appreciate ideas. And if you are taking somebody else's words, somebody else's argument, somebody else's format, and you're reproducing it as your own without any credit, you've got a problem. That's plagiarism, and it's not allowed. Assisted learning services. We have a lot of services here at the college. You should take advantage of them. If you need to talk about it, possibilities for assisted learning, please let me know. Note on accessibility. I try to make my course accessible to meet all student needs. Sometimes I miss out on something, a notification that informs me of a difficulties that students might have. I might miss that, or sometimes I present something in a non-accessible form. If you need something accessible, please talk to me. Let me know so I can fix it. In A grade, in order to be a part of this course, in order to stay in this course, you need to participate before the NA deadline, which I believe is on the 19th. W and DR grades, if you want to withdraw, you got to do it on your own. If you don't withdraw, but you disappear from the course, I will drop you from the course if I haven't seen you 2 weeks prior to the end. We have our English department policy on plagiarism. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go. And then let's see, then there are college policies. You can read through those on your own. I want to go back to the course and just show you a couple things about navigating. So you have a discussion board here. We've already got some people that have participated. In order to participate in a discussion board, just click on add a new discussion, add your subject. You don't have to just repeat discussion one. You could repeat whatever or use any subject line you want there, and then type in your discussion. You can also write those on Microsoft Word before, copy and paste it in there. Reading, pretty easy. Just click on a link. Depending on if it's a link to an outside source or a link to a file, it'll open up for you. You'll be able to read it. Then there are also things to watch, like this video. You probably figured this out already, or like another video that I might find and ask you to watch. Then you will have in most classes, you'll have some type of learning and writing journal. I will say about the learning and writing journals, this is not meant to be simple notes that you produce in an unthinking way. They're supposed to be interactive and thoughtful and reflective journaling on the different elements. Now, one of the things you got to do is show me that you're doing the reading and the work for the class through those learning and writing journals. But I don't want it to just be simple bullet point notes. I want it to be something meaningful for you. And if not, what's the point of doing it? That's basic navigation. Let me explain what happens every week. I will produce an introduction to the week like this, and then I will give you a list of tasks. Sometimes those tasks will not appear until later in the week because I want to stagger things a little bit. And then sometimes they'll all appear as we get further on in the semester. They'll all appear at the start of the semester. We will go through the semester, and every week we'll have a new list of tasks, a new thing that we're looking at during that week. The only other thing I want to show you before we end today is your dashboard here on Moodle. On Moodle, you have a dashboard, and up at the top of that dashboard, there are a number of different resources for you as a student. Your tutoring and homework assistance, technical assistance, activities, student activities, joining the club, the Writing Center, HFC Library and Research, Learning Lab. There are a lot of good resources up here for you. I highly recommend you take advantage of them. It's way too easy as a college student when everything's online to avoid what you can actually do to learn more. And let me give you one good example. Our Writing Center is a really great space on this campus. And by going to the Writing Center, you can sit down with a professional instructor of writing and talk about your writing and your processes. And they'll talk about it with you at any stage of your writing. So you can make an appointment, and it'll be on Zoom, and you can sit with somebody and talk about the writing that you present at that appointment. You can even do this asynchronously. You submit a piece of writing and you get some feedback on that writing. You should take advantage of this. This is not proofreading. They're not going to proofread your stuff, but they will talk to you about your processes and your ideas on an assignment and whether or not you're meeting the goals or what else you might do to better meet your own goals in writing. One last thing to mention, two things. Two last things to mention here before we wrap this up. First, if you want to get a hold of me, you see my cursor here, you can go up here to the right-hand side of your screen and you can click on the email, and you can send me an email through Moodle, or you can just send me a chat by going on here, clicking on searching my name, and then sending me a chat message. And I usually get those and respond to them within in a quicker way than I might through email. I will say on email, I try to be pretty responsive on email, but sometimes it can take me 24 hours to respond to an email, and that's within a business week. If you send me an email on Friday at 3 p.m., you're probably not going to get a response until Monday. And that's because I have a family and they sort of like me sometimes, and we sort of do things sometimes. Mostly we try to avoid each other. I'll also point out smart evals. And that's something you're going to need to know for the end of the semester, how to do an evaluation. So you should log on to that. One other thing occurs to me. I want to point to you to what it looks like from an instructor's side. So here's my student page. Now, I'm obviously not a student, but I can look at this for each one of you. It will tell me what courses you're in. I've got a lot because I'm an instructor, but what courses you're in, I can get your full profile. I can get your blog entries, your forum posts. So I can see what you're doing in a course on a daily basis. And let me just show you how that works overall. I can go look at your complete report, and then I will see everything that you have read, everything you've participated in, everything you've posted, every assignment you've turned in. It will tell me right here through your complete report. I can also go to your logs and look at all your logs to see how frequently you're checking in, how frequently how long you stay when you're checking in, what you're looking at, when you're looking at it. This is really intense. And I can look at a lot of information here for you on what you're doing or not doing in the course. And just in case you're somebody who is paying somebody to do your course for you, which happens. And people get caught, but sometimes people pay somebody else to do your course for you. I can tell when what IP address you're checking in from. So I'm going to click on IP address, and then I can see where in the world you are checking in from. There are lots of checks here to make sure that students are being honest, that they're actually doing their work, that they're actually spending time in the course. There's a lot of things that instructors have access to, and you should be aware of it. Not because I think you're going to cheat, but because when we're in a classroom, you're aware of my presence and you're aware of each other, and it puts some pressure on you to be a participant and to be engaged. When we're asynchronous, we are separated. We don't get to see each other's faces. We don't get to smell each other's breath, which may be a good thing. But we don't get to sit next to each other and feel our humanity. What we have to do is rely that there is actually somebody out there who's paying attention. What instructors do, because when I'm in a classroom, I can read your body language, I can read your eyes, I know whether you're involved. I don't have that online. So all I can do is go check on your records. How frequently have you checked in? How frequently have you done the work? And if you're not doing the work, then we've got a problem. We've got a problem if you're not checking in, because this is supposed to be an ongoing engaged course. Please check in frequently. Please be involved. Let's make this an interesting course. We can still have a lot of fun. We can still make it really interesting, and we can still really grow and learn a lot in this course, so long as you are involved and I am involved. I will promise you that I will be involved, and I hope you are too. Thanks for being a student this semester. You always have the right to call me or to text me. I'm sorry, not text me. You always have the right to send me a message and ask me to meet with me, and I will do my best to make that happen. I'm here for you. I want this course to be successful for you. Thanks for being a student. I look forward to seeing your posts. Take care.